Welcome back to the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. I'm your host, Gillyweed, here with Dreadnought and a couple of friends. We still have that 30v30 Fortress Siege I promised earlier coming up soon, but first, we're going to chat with some friends here about the game and our experiences in it. Dread, who you got over there?
Oh, you know, I got Sidu over here with me, and we're going to be talking a little bit later, but first, who you got with you?
Well, I've got Sko here. Hey, Sko, how has your day been doing? You've been hanging out here with us all day. It's been a lot of fun.
It actually has been a ton of fun. Yeah, I've loved everything I've done so far in Lineage 2 Revolution, so yeah, it's good. It's good.
That's awesome. And how has TwitchCon as a whole been for you?
Super busy, but so many great people here, so many friends. It's just it's always a great time coming out to these events. I love it. It's been good.
Have you been able to meet with a lot of people that you don't normally get to interact with in person?
I mean, that's always the case when you come out to these like events, and TwitchCon obviously is one of the centers in that regard because basically every Twitch partner is here. So, yeah.
Well, talk to me about your history within MMOs, the MMORPG genre, and maybe even a little bit about Team Method.
Sure. So I started playing MMOs around 12 years ago, and that was actually with the launch of World of Warcraft. And I actually created Method as a raiding guild back then, about 12 years ago. So I've been playing ever since, actually, through 2 university degrees, a full-time job, until a few years ago I started really focusing on the Method team and streaming a little bit more as well. But yeah, I would say I'm relatively experienced when it comes to MMOs, but at the same time, it's mostly World of Warcraft that I played in the past.
What has it been like to be able to come here to do a lot of these Lineage 2 Revolution activities that you have been doing with some of your teammates? Because I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, of course. MMOs are like probably the greatest genre out there for building like relationships, building friends. You know, it's a group of people getting together and working towards achieving the same kind of goal. So that's definitely been great. And for me, it's actually been really refreshing to actually play like a different and a new MMO, and especially an MMO that's on the mobile device, because that's obviously something that's continually been up and coming over the past few years. Mobile games are really hot property these days, and Lineage 2 Revolution has actually been an amazing mobile game. I'm very excited for like its release and what the future holds.
Yeah, you've gotten a chance to play even before this weekend on Lineage 2 Revolution, and so many people, when we talk to them and ask them what their experiences have been, is just blown away when they start playing the game. What were your first initial thoughts as you loaded into the game for the first time?
I'm going to give the standard answer there, and like the first thing that blows you away is the graphics. I've never seen a mobile game with these kind of graphics before, and also a mobile game that it's so in-depth. It plays like a fully fledged MMO. Like there's so much character development, so much to do in the game. Honestly, it's just hard to grasp that this is a mobile game. That's what it got me.
Yeah, the graphics for me were huge. The social aspect has been fantastic, that there are clans that you can do some in-game content with. What have been some of the things that you've been focusing on doing within the game during your time playing?
I mean, I've done a bit of everything, really, from the low-level questing to trying out the various classes. I've done both the dungeons with actually some of the guys from Method, but also a bit of PvP. So, I mean, I've dipped my toes in almost every aspect of the game, and it's been a really good time.
Do you have a favorite class at this point, or a play style, one now that you've played a few of them?
I mean, it's funny you ask that, because historically in an MMO, I've always just played in the tank role. Which in this case it would be like the warrior paladin kind of specialization, but especially at TwitchCon, I've been set up as a dark elf phantom ranger, which is much more of like a ranged DPS kind of class. So that was definitely very refreshing, because people always, you know, they tell me, you know, Sko's got to play DPS, you know, why is he always playing tank, blah blah. But it was fun to play something else. It was fun to see some big numbers coming out, because obviously when you play a tank, it's not really about doing the damage or seeing the big numbers. It's mostly about protecting your allies and just tanking everything. Yeah.
We talked about the clans, and there is both PvP and PvE end-game content. We've got huge 50v50 fortress sieges. There's clan dungeons. What are you most looking forward to being able to check out as part of a clan?
You mentioned fortress sieges. That is definitely the most exciting thing, I think, that I'm looking forward to. I mean, we managed to actually try a 30 versus 30 fortress siege here yesterday, and that was a ton of fun. So just trying out a 50 versus 50 fortress siege, again, just going back to the fact that this is actually a mobile game, it actually blows me away that scale of actual, like a battlefield can actually go on. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see all of the strategies that people start developing around that too. Well, thank you so much, Sko. I'm gonna check in now with Dreadnought and Sidu. What's happening, guys?
Sidu, what is going on, man? First of all, I just want to say that we've gotten to know each other pretty well here over the event, but why don't you give some maybe background for people at home? You know, who are you? Where are you from? Why are you the MMO RPG master that you are?
Well, as you guys know, my name is Sidu. I've been basically playing MMOs for the last 12 years, which is when World of Warcraft came out. And I've been competing in MMOs in World of Warcraft competitively since 18 years old. So for the last 8 years, I've been professionally playing WoW, going to tournaments all over the world, and I have a lot of experience in it. So I've just been playing for a really long time.
It seems very impressive, you know, track record there, and I'm glad that I have you to be able to break down some of this Lineage 2 Revolution stuff that we got going on. So I've got to ask, you know, much like we've been asking everybody, first glance, first thoughts. We know the graphics are cool. Do you have a different angle that maybe you had something that was the first standout moment with your experience so far?
I mean, honestly, you know, like you said, the graphics are really, really good, especially for an MMO, you know. But just like the amount of detail that went into this game is just unbelievable. It has every single aspect of an MMO that you would expect. Like, you log in, you get the quests, you have inventory, you can switch your gear out. There's, you know, the specs, and you can upgrade your spells. Like, there's just so much to do in this game, and there's so much involvement that really makes you feel like you're progressing your character, which is exactly what you want to feel when you're playing an MMO.
Exactly. You got to have that feel-good button, you know. Always go back for that dopamine whenever you can get that tick off. And so I've got to ask, you know, you talked about the depth, the complexity, and so many things to do. So what is the, you know, from your time, what did you start off doing? Did you concentrate on just questing, leveling? Where was your heavy focus when you entered the world?
I haven't done too much of like the intro stuff. You know, I did a few of the intro quests, but mainly I kind of wanted to jump into the end content to see if it's something that, you know, when you kind of got towards the end, if it would be something that you enjoy. And it's been a blast, you know, the dungeons, the PvP. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm actually excited for the release. Is probably when I'll take it a little bit slower and kind of start from scratch and see what it's really all about, you know, how to get there, you know, more of the journey. But, you know, when you finally get to where you're going, it's been really like a ton of fun.
So did you get to kind of explore all the classes as well, some of the races? Like, how far did you kind of get that, and what kind of characters, you know, play style really stood out for you?
I actually haven't played like every combination of class and race. There's actually so many sub races. I think they said there was 24 total. So, you know, that would be a lot of you know, a lot of time to try every single one. So I probably, you know, just picking and choosing right now of a few of them. But I'm excited to try some of the, you know, the newer ones. You know, maybe here on stage or maybe more when the game releases. But as of right now, I've just really been enjoying the dark elf warrior dual wielding. You know, a ton of damage, ton of AOE. You have healing when you do damage. So it just kind of feels like you're, you know, strong in every regard. You just do, you know, so much damage, you just get to kill people. It's a lot of fun.
So did you get to explore much of the late game at all whatsoever, beyond just what we've gotten with this kind of, you know, 30 versus 30s, which, I mean, the action was really awesome. You've been able to perform so well, but just was there any late game that you got to dabble in? And if so, was there anything that, you know, when you're playing, that is what you're aiming to do? Is it CP, getting that combat power, or maybe a clan, something like that?
I mean, generally speaking, you know, PvP is kind of what I'm known for in my game, so I've definitely been leaning more towards the PvP side. It's been a lot of fun. The 30v30 is a lot of fun. The extraction points are a lot of fun. And, you know, I got with some of the other method people, and we were doing the dungeons, seeing how far we could go with the difficulty, you know, further unlocking, like, you know, the harder and harder difficulties, and it starts to get to a point where, you know, you can't mess up a mechanic, you're going to die pretty easily.
Yeah, it can be very, very difficult to be able to overcome some of those bosses and monsters. And did you ever, you know, concentrate on any of the equipment and the gear at all, or did you kind of try and avoid that, and it was just more about sticking to the, you know, easy gameplay that you could find yourself in?
Since I didn't have too much experience with the intro levels, I was just using the auto-equip feature, which just is going to equip the best stats for your specific spec and stuff. And the auto features are something that is like really, really handy, because there's so much to like micro in this game, you know. So sometimes the auto combat, the auto potions and stuff like that is really necessary, because there's just so much going on that it helps so much.
On that note of like kind of the combat system and all the things going on, did you feel like, because for me, like, the menus were very intuitive, but the next thing was kind of the controls. Did you feel like the controls had an angle maybe necessarily that you really appreciated? Was there anything that stood out in that direction, or even beyond that point that just doesn't maybe stand out at first glance, but the more time that you put into it, you really began to appreciate it?
I was really worried about how the character would feel when it's being controlled, like, you know, a mobile MMO. But having like the little like joystick type thing with your left thumb, and having your right thumb to be able to control all the spells and stuff that you want, it really feels, you know, very fluent, and it makes you kind of feel like you can go anywhere in the world. You can maneuver really easily. When we were doing the dungeon races earlier, you got to make sure you're moving out of the mechanics that the boss is dropping on the ground and stuff. It's just really easy to kind of weave in and out. So the controls feel really smooth, and it just once again kind of blew my expectations out of the water.
I'm going to leave you with the ultimate challenge here, okay? I just want to see, Cito, can you, if you were to give me 5 words, to summarize up Lineage 2 Revolution so far, your time in it, what are those 5 words for everybody at home to kind of take away? What are Sidhu's thoughts?
Best mobile game out there.
Nailed it. This guy is a
Perfect.
legend.
I can't compete with that.
That was perfect. Thank you so much, Sko and Sidhu. Guys, Lineage 2 Revolution launches in North America and in Europe on November 15th. Let's take a closer look at the game. Awesome, guys. Lineage 2 Revolution is a true open world MMORPG with incredible graphics due to it being built on the Unreal 4 engine. And that accounts for not only an open world, but insanely big number PvP events. We're talking 50v50 or 50v50v50v50 with Castle Siege once we go live. We've seen 30v30 events so far, Dread, and that has honestly been the highlight for me so far for the TwitchCon event here for Lineage 2 Revolution, is seeing those big scale 60 people battling and the strategies that have developed. What has been a highlight for you?
I will support that. I do agree with you. The evolution of strategy is something that stood out to me. I never would have expected out of these players. But I mean, beyond that point, it's just been TwitchCon bringing on all these people. They're getting their hands on the game, and it just, honestly, it feels like more that the general consensus is just everybody's on the hype train, right? Like, everybody's like, I never expected these things. And yeah, we feel like we're hearing the same things over and over again, but they're always the same great features of the game.
Yeah, things like the graphics we heard from Sko and Sidhu. Yesterday, we had Conan come and hang out with us briefly, Conan O'Brien, and we were actually the #1 TwitchCon stream here at Lineage 2 Revolution. We had a blast with the Fortress Siege. Today, though, the Fortress Sieges for me have been incredible just because we've seen so many different strategies develop, and we may see more to come with one more to go today.
And it's exciting that we've gotten some teams looking for, you know, the standard win condition where they're like, we're going to go get the king onto the other side and get that imprint, and then others have just been, don't even worry about it. Everybody go mid. We're going to get this through kills, focusing on that. And also the banter. It has been 10 out of 10 from some of these guys, especially between Reyna and Trump. Really, really enjoyed that one.
I've been enjoying the banter between you and Frodan, too, commentating all these Fortress Sieges. He's been doing awesome, you as well. So let's get into, with a little bit of time left before we get ready for that final Fortress Siege, some tips and tricks for our new players at home, because we're going to have so many people with pre-registration active, coming out on November 15th. Are there any immediate tips and tricks you would say you should be focusing on as you get started in the game?
Do not be afraid of all the auto systems. Like, engage in them and learn from them. That would be my number one thing. I feel like I accelerated my understanding of the game so fast by just letting them show me and then going, why was that so good? Why was it? And within a couple of minutes, I was suddenly like, oh, this is my main stats. Here's what I'm aiming for. This is what I want to be aiming to do to be the strongest character possible. And then learning how to maximize, minimize, min-max the value out of those kind of tools. Again, talking about the cooldowns and the fighting system. That for me has really been it.
For me, I think it would be to definitely manage your resources really well. I'm talking about Adena is such a big deal. It's a currency that's used for just about everything in the game, and you can end up spending a lot of Adena on things, like especially your healing potions and your magic potions. So when you are using your auto-battling and your auto-questing systems, keep track of, when you don't need to be using those potions. And because the menus are so intuitive and awesome, you can go in and change the levels of when you need to use these potions, because you need things like Adena later to upgrade things like skills. Skills are so important.
Exactly. The skills to be able to level up, you can never forget that. Which playstyle you want to specialize in. If you want to get that provoke, make sure you can lock people down, make them auto attack you, go with those kind of crowd control playstyles. But I mean, it just, for me, ultimately, the skill system, the tools that you can have to be able to choose, because I feel like we haven't even highlighted this, but those who don't know, you have more than just the 4 to 5 skills that you get to use.
Correct.
You actually just get to select which of the few that your race, your class, and your job have allowed you to have, and you get to kind of be like a warrior of one playstyle can essentially just spell-wise be chosen to be played in a very different playstyle. So we can be the same race character all around, totally different playstyles.
And not only are there active skills, but there are actually passive skills too. And these passive skills are things that you might not think about to level up because you're not directly pushing a button that makes them happen. But things like you're upgrading your armor skill, and that will give you either more damage, or if you are a warrior, it'll give you more tankiness. So if you're struggling to increase your combat power, you're struggling to make sure that you are going through the questing well, then maybe take a look at your passive skills and be able to upgrade those too.
And on the note of kind of upgrading and easy tips for when you guys are there getting into the game on November 15th, I think without a doubt another one that I've been talking about all weekend long is I feel like the gear, making sure you keep track of your gear, never wasting it. And if you are using it for the Adena, that is such a useful resource. But if you suddenly are like, you know what, I'm good on the Adena, I've farmed enough gear, I'm suddenly good on cash, what do I need to be doing next? Using that gear to level up your gear. Everything is used for something else, it feels like, within Lineage 2 Revolution. There is no such thing as like a junk section of your inventory.
And there are sets of gear too, sets of armor, sets of accessories. And on the note of accessories, specifically, accessories are a little more rare, and being able to get those sets, and even the varnishes. So if you have an option of choosing what kind of varnish you want to upgrade, definitely check out the accessory varnish because those are more rare.
And you also can just auto-customize gear sets, right? You have up to, I believe it's 6 total sets of gear that you can actually use. And you can change them in the middle of combat, actually. So on the fly, if you have, suddenly you're in the PvP area and you're in the extraction dungeon and people are picking you off, you're specializing towards that, and then you're out in the open fighting elite dungeon bosses, suddenly you need to change the gear. It's very easy. Just click, drop, suddenly everything changes, new stats come online.
So we've talked about the gear, we've talked about skills. Let's go into more of the specialties, the specializations, runes and monster codex. I know you love the monster codex, so you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I love it because it's just, again, it highlights all the things I've been so amazed by with the game. The things that personally made me go, wow, this is really, really, really good is just the menu system, the navigating through the complex world, the depth with simplicity. It's accessible, digestible. The Monster Codex is a great late game tool. It's even early game. You can do it at all levels to just hunt down anywhere on the map specific characters and monsters, get the cores, use those again to isolate specific attributes that you want to highlight. And for me, it was always, again, damage, damage, damage.
And for the runes, you also can choose damage, but there's all sorts of different stats that you can use rune fragments to help increase those runes. But The difficulty with runes is that it's not a guaranteed success. It may start that way, but the higher you go in individual pages, the less chance of success you have, and so you can end up spending a lot of resources.
Yeah, so I did maximize every rune on every single page, and I felt like it got to like almost 30-40% success rate farther and farther I went. Early on, I was like, oh, this feels so good. I'm like, here's my special attack. All right, I'm gonna take some max HP. All right, and all CP's going up, and then you're like, you do it, and suddenly the 50-50, and you're like, darn it, man. Like, this is when it suddenly gets hard. But that grind, again, these are very late game, talented things. You can start them very early on, but that specialization is for the later stages, even beyond level 31 where you get that job.
Well, as you can see, this may be a mobile game, but there are so many complexities to Lineage 2 Revolution, and that's all to get you to the end game, going in with your clans to dungeons, going in to the fortress sieges. Coming up in 30 short minutes, we will have our final 30v30 fortress siege. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
Team is over here. Let's go see what we got. One has a squad right here. Pick together.
everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, be friends.
Hey, I'm Day9.
Toast here. Praying here.
I'm Trump.
Chief Bad here, and I am battling
live on stage at
the Lineage 2 Revolution booth.
I'm Trump. Yes.
Yes. Go, Trump. Go.
This is a 3v1.
Run!
Oh my god. There's like a 30 billion people.
No honor.
We're 1v1ing.
No honor.
I'm delighted to be part of this Lineage 2 Revolution.
Watch me lead my team of 30.
Fortress Sieges, doing some 30v30 PvP.
No! No! Can't believe it.
I'm CC'd.
Oh,
run.
interrupted. Run him down. Oh, you scum.
Live at TwitchCon.
It's gonna be epic.
Pretty amazing.
Make sure you guys stop by. If you want to see me destroy all the other streamers,
Come hang out.
It's gonna be awesome.
it's gonna be sick.
I'll see you there.
Hey, I'm Trump, and I'm at the Lineage 2 Revolution booth at TwitchCon right now. Come hang out.
Hey guys, Toast here. I'm currently battling live on stage at the Lineage 2 Revolution booth at TwitchCon. So come check me out if you want to see me destroy all the other streamers.
Impressive that we are real-time battling PvE on a phone.
No way!
Yeah, how is that possible?
I don't know. But the graphics are just insane. It's got the Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
Ah, man, it's just so epic.
Imagine 50 real people versus 50 real people going head to head.
God, there's so many! I'm dead.
Hey guys, Pokey here. I am currently playing live on stage at the Lineage 2 booth. Make sure to come check out because it's going to be awesome.
Welcome everybody to the Lineage 2 Revolution 30v30 Fortress Siege event. I'm your host, Gillyweed, and bringing you all of the action will be your commentators, Frodan and Dreadnought. Now, I am so excited because you guys are in for such a treat. We're about to have 60 people battling for glory right here in the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. And leading their teams into glorious battle will be the Clan King. So let's get them introduced. In the red, the King of Clan Bailiff. Let's hear it for Trump. Ooh, we've got some boos happening from the other side. Let's introduce the blue team, Clan Harden King. We've got Disguised Toast. Now a note on this, Kriparian was supposed to be the blue team's Clan King. Unfortunately, he fell under the weather. So we wish him the best of recovery, and we know that Disguised Toast will do him justice. As a quick note, both Trump and Disguised Toast have each won a Fortress Siege, so it's sort of an all-stars match going on here this evening. Now, in case you haven't heard of Lineage 2 Revolution, don't worry, that makes sense. It hasn't been released yet in North America and Europe. Let's take a look to find out more about the game. Lineage 2 Revolution is a true open-world MMORPG with exquisite graphics because it was built on the Unreal 4 engine. This allows for these massive 30 versus 30 battles that are normally 50 versus 50 between clans, and we have a 50v50v50v50 castle seed, all on a mobile device. And although that hasn't been yet released in North America or Europe, it has been released in Asia and is wildly popular there. So let's take a closer look. We are dangerously close to getting this fortress siege started, so let's get right into the rules of the game. Each team has a fortress, and in the interior of the fortress is a holy artifact that must be imprinted on with a symbol. But there's a catch. Only the kings, the clan leaders, can imprint the symbol on the opponent's holy artifact in order to destroy it, which means it is so important that the team keeps that clan leader alive, because as each person dies and respawns, the longer and the more times they die, the longer that respawn timer gets. Here are the spawning points. That is where each person will start once they get into the game. Standing in between the spawning point and the opponent's fortress are a lot of obstacles. There are 2 tiers of towers that have to be taken out and a gate to get through. There's no minions to tank the damage of these towers, so you have to tank it with your bodies. So it's absolutely integral that these warriors, the tanky players, they're the ones taking those shots. There are a few more items of interest in the center of the map. 2 altars that provide buffs to not only you, but your entire team for an amount of time. And finally, there is a spring of recovery in the middle. If you're able to get to that and take control of that, you will be able to heal up much faster. There's a lot of different routes that you can take, a lot of different strategies that can happen in Fortress Siege, and we have been seeing strategies develop from throughout this entire event. We know that these strategies from Trump and Disguised Toast, they will be bringing them and trying to get their clanmates to bring them the victory. Now, as we're about to get ready, I want to ask our teams, hey, red team, are you ready?
Yeah!
All right. Blue team, are you ready?
Yeah!
Best of luck to both teams.
Good evening, TwitchCon 2017, and welcome to another 30 vs 30 Fortress Siege battle. My name is Frody, and I'm joined by Dreadnought, and once again, we'll see Trump and Disguised Toast throw it down in the arena.
And as we heard Gilly talk about before, both of these players have actually earned a win under their belt so far with the Fortress Siege, so I'm expecting that the talent and caliber of play to be a notch above what we've seen so far.
Now, I want to say, Trump has been refining his strategy. This is the 3rd time today that he's been playing the Fortress Siege. He can't get enough of it, but he's also learned a lot of lessons.
He has. He's been going around, you know, he talked to me a little bit about strategy. He's been talking to everybody about strategy. As you hear him talking out to the rest of his team, trying to get them onto the same page as this action is unfolding here up on mid.
It's showing on the screen. Red team is up already 20 kills to 4, and it is almost a complete team wipe. Red team is looking dominant, despite the fact that blue team morale was very high to begin things with.
Yeah, their morale was very high. They even, cheered a bit louder on the confidence level they had before, but after losing the first major buff and now closing in on the second there, they have got to be scared.
Wow, Trump is looking comfortable as he is calling and barking orders left and right. Now they've secured both the altars, and that is going to be significant combat advantage as if they needed any more help.
Yeah, the double buff here is something that I expect Trump and friends to really pull ahead in the kills farther than they already have managed to do so. And so I'm hoping that we can find a moment where Disguised Toast and friends, they regroup, recollect themselves, and really bring the fight here.
I've got enough. Disguised Toast yet to even open his mouth or even type anything in. Blue team is communicating through just text.
Yeah,
while Trump is verbally directing orders.
He is straight up commanding the squad there. Disguised Toast going with a more passive route. You know, sometimes you got to believe in your squad, and I think that's the team or clan hardened strategy. It's just, he has faith that each and every one of them is skilled and competent within their roles.
Oh my goodness, look at this push on the east tower. Red team is doing massive damage. Trump is probably going for a quick victory here, or at least pressuring the blue team to make them afraid of that.
And so this is something that Trump had already concentrated on in some of the earlier games we saw from him, taking out entire front walls, but then was stopped once he got past these tier one turret. So suddenly I'm asking myself, if we see him successful in sieging it down once more, do we see the same strategy? Because it was unsuccessful past that tier 1 set.
Yeah, I think Trump's already recognized that. I feel like I can just bark out a copy of his orders and you guys get a general sense of how this game is going. He's saying fall back, don't overextend, and you can see that red team is following, and look at their assembly here in the center of the map around the Spring of Recovery.
It is just ridiculous, the numbers that the red team here, Clan Belith, has brought together. You see those buffs next to each and every one of their names that they have secured. In 35 seconds, one of the 2 shrines will spawn up into the middle of the map, and that's going to be crucial that blue at least takes that so they're even on the buff count.
This is looking pretty brutal here. We're only 4 or 3 minutes rather into the game, and yet red team is looking like they're putting an insurmountable lead onto the blue team.
It is just absolute domination here so far coming out from Trump, and I do believe that it is a lot to do with that coordination. The pressure originally applied to that top lane here, and now all the members transferring down below. I really like that kind of mix-up and not just constantly doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result here from the red team.
They're pressuring both towers simultaneously, east and west. This is a 2-prong attack here from red. How will blue defend? It seems like they're spreading out their defenses. And it seems like red team is falling back because they want to imprint that altar of wind.
It's very important that the blue team stays within those turret range so they have that defender's advantage. If they trickle out a smidge too far, a scope too far, it will be very easy that Trump and the squad, again, will continue to pick them off as they have done amazingly so. 80 kill advantage here for them.
I'm not going to do much to ask Trump questions. I'm just going to hold the microphone to his mouth and you do all the listening.
Wow, what can I say? We're just crushing them right now.
I was just going with the mic so that people can listen to what you're saying.
All right, well, I mean, what can I say? I think we're destroying them. I think we've controlled both altars both times. Toast has absolutely no chance.
How free was this victory for you? It's only 4 minutes in the game, but I'm pretty sure you're assured victory at this point.
You know, it's too bad Criterion wasn't here. I'm sure he would have put on a better fight.
Oh, he's saying that if Crip was here, then he would put up a much better fight than Disguised Toast.
Right, what do you got to say to that there, Toast? If Crip was here, he'd do better?
We're trying a different strategy right now. We're lulling them into a false sense of security by falling behind, and then we're gonna come back to make the victory more sweet later.
Hit him with the old bait and switch, you know, the bamboozle here is the top tier strategy. So just with that in mind, when can I expect that strategy to come online? I'm just asking, you know, for research in the future.
It's, we're working on it. I don't want to give anything away. They're listening right now, but you'll know when you see it.
You know what? I have full faith in you, and I'm sorry I even had even the integrity to, you know, kind of reveal that strategy over there. Disguised Toast, keep doing what you're doing.
Let's give him some time. Right now, it seems like their strategy is so next level, it might take 15 minutes to set up. Oh, wait. That's the entire game, Dreadnought. Right now, red team, complete dominance over blue, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better as blue team is going to lose their second east tower if they don't do something soon.
We already saw significant damage onto the west turrets. Now the east turrets here of the blue are crumbling under this colossus that seems to be Clan Belith right now. There is 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, and within entirety of 100 kills almost here for the red team, I feel like Disguised Toast in the late game strategy, I'm just going to sit here and I'm away.
Well, I will bring up a piece of history. Yesterday, Disguised Toast was the king in our kickoff Fortress Siege battle, and he didn't let the game go to a draw for the kill victory. He ended it before the timer ran out, and it seems like Trump wants to do the same.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point you bring up. Most of these players have concentrated on getting those kills as the win condition, but very few have focused on how do we get the kill in there for the cheeky play. And you are right, it is unrealistic. It looks like at this pace, the blue team are recovering kills, but you can always get the imprint onto that holy artifact.
I love it. Trump is being assertive again, saying we need to push here. Disguised Toast saying, camp the towers, guard it. He also even added a please. He's being very polite. That is the most polite commander I've ever seen.
If you could just get on my base, please, that would be great. Thank you.
Not surprised that he's a Canadian.
Dishing the respect there. But blue team has a huge advantage now with the fact that they do have the double turrets to be able to defend around the holy artifact and the spawn area being so very close. I expect them to push back. It's just how much damage does Trump get done in the meantime?
Well, we might be coming out to the last phase of the game here, and that is pushing on the inner towers for the blue team. Red team is staring down the holy artifact, and Disguised Toast is frantically trying to rally the troops to defend those inner towers.
It looks like they're going to be able to do so, and actually a rather cheeky play with that imprint up into the mid, with so much action happening on the base, still considering those AoE buffs and trying to get those plays. That's online, 20 more seconds for that secondary buff, and here's the push back that we have been waiting for. I think it's coming online. This is the moment.
I think maybe red team says, wait, we don't have the altars anymore. Let's imprint them before blue team can get a chance to get one. That's right, blue team has not secured a single altar this entire game, and I think that's strongly indicative of the way things are going.
But Toast went in with the clutch delay. He actually got one interrupt there onto the channel into imprint, but he was by himself. Nobody else trying to go. Another delay there. Brilliant play coming out from him. It's just at what cost?
That's right, Toast doing what he does best, annoying his opponents. That is what he has in spades, not just in Lineage 2 Revolution. And it looks like he's going to employ the strategy very effectively, and that's something that Toast is known for. He loves trolling people, loves trying to tick them off and get them to tilt a little bit, and look like that's his desperation strategy to stabilize here.
You know, tilt and mental warfare seems like the only thing remaining here for Disguised Toast if they're going to be successful into this game. I do feel like these objectives, these buffs into the mid lane are so valuable at this point in time, now past the 50 waypoint for the blue team, but Trump's unrelenting. He is constantly channeling those to pick them up for the squad.
But look at Toast. He's the only player from blue really trying to stop him, and in response, Red has complete center dominance. Once again, sneaking behind enemy lines, trying to disrupt. Blue team trying to push onto Red's weakness. And this is probably the one moment Blue can capitalize is when Red is so frantically trying to get center control.
Yeah, if that center control can maybe get that level of distraction that they're going to need. And they've got a lot of pressure to bottom. I want to see if Trump is going to continue to apply that there or go back to the western towers that they got so much damage on. But, Frodan, let's check in with some of the players here.
All right, well, I want to check out this red team's man of mystery. He's got kind of a little masquerade going on here. What's with the outfit?
We're doing Twitchman.
Oh, you are Twitchman?
Yes, here to protect you against the trolls.
What is your superpower, Twitchman?
My superpower would be the ability to fix any stream.
Ooh, fix any stream. Well, I could certainly use you at every esports event ever. Where have you been all my life? Are you enjoying the 30 vs 30?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
All right, well, seems like things are going really well. We even have Twitchman. No wonder they're winning, Dreadnought.
Yeah, you know, Disguised Toast might be the king of all of this going on, but I think I found the captain of the ship that is known as Clan Harden. So I've got to ask, you know, he was going for the late game, but I feel like you might have a better idea what's going on. What's the strategy?
I believe that we have some great synergy going along with us here, and we have a secret plan ready to launch into action, which they will find out.
My real question here is, how are we going to avoid this so it's not like the Titanic?
I say the crew will keep the ship afloat, and I know I believe in my crew.
You believe in the crew? You know what? I'm going to try and believe in the crew as well.
Worst comes to worst, he has 29 people to swap the poop deck, because I think blue team is still struggling, and they could use a lot more bigger of a lifeboat if you ask me. As we come down in the last 5 minutes, they are currently down 350 kills to just 175, Dreadnought.
I mean, talk about top decked and reds. That's about the only way to describe that one.
Well, if you're kind of looking at it, you can see why. Red team is working really well, and I'm starting to look at some of those elves and the mages putting out big damage. And a large reason why is because it seems like blue team is clumping up specifically for red to get that big area fix stun and follow-up damage.
And that is so hard to deal with AoE crowd control in a game like this, as we see the Earth Spike dropped by the Dwarf, one of my favorite AoE spells in the game, and the graphics of it, so beautiful, just shifting the Earth upward and getting that AoE knockdown, and that's where I made my big plays whenever in the Fortress Siege.
It feels rewarding. When you're playing the Warlord, you have a skill called Vengeance. It stuns for 8 seconds. Well, not stun, it provokes for 8 seconds, and your opponent can't really do anything.
One time when we were playing, we were sitting clumped up on mid and had almost, it felt like all 30 of us provoked for, it felt 8 seconds. It was forever, and it's such a useful tool, and a lot of that Trump has been relying on throughout all of his matches here in Fortress Siege.
Look at the big damage coming down onto the West Tower. Blue team is not there to contest. And that is pretty much just clear on the west side. Blue team finally gets there, but it's too late.
But this is the first Fortress Siege that we have experienced both Tier 1 turrets falling for one team. Disguised Toast here has lost more structures than we have ever experienced so far. The question is, can Trump and friends clutch it out with that Holy Artifact channel?
Well, this is the first time blue team has ever fought on even footing. They too have finally secured an altar. Is it too little too late? I think so. 200 kills is the largest lead we have ever seen on this stage, and it's only growing.
It is just absolutely amazing, the development of strategy and play that we've seen throughout all of TwitchCon, and the expertise being displayed here by Trump. Showing, you know,
a big push is coming down to the Holy Artifact Tower in blue base. Looks like this guy's Toast is just gonna try and barely stabilize. That is scary. Red team is they're so close to actually killing off the central turrets here.
Look at what the red team is trying to do right now. Trump actually collected everybody a minute. Now half are split pushing in one direction, half going into the other, knowing that both aspects of the base are now opened up, but the bottom easily defended here by Clan Harden, just clumping up as a unit. Now, we got to ask ourselves, was Trump successful in the top lane? It's looking like he was.
Yeah, it seemed like Trump has died trying to kill off the Holy Artifact Tower. Something that happens very often. Has to be careful because we're starting to get to the point where a blue team has died so many times, they might have a penalty for their deaths.
Yeah, and that happens after 10 deaths. You get instant spawns, and then past that point, it is 30-second spawn timers, increasing significantly with every death beyond that point, stopping at in 1 whole minute.
Perhaps a point of weakness? Doesn't look like it. Red team is going to safely secure the Altar of Wind. Or perhaps not. The disruption comes down, and for a brief second, blue team is still stronger than red in combat.
But look at what they're doing. They're baiting so many members into the graveyard, and there's a flank onto the eastern aspect of the map. Trump and the squad is going in with a huge flank. They're baiting them all to the graveyard.
They're not paying attention.
They're going for it. They're going to get the channel. They're going to start this off.
Back to the base.
Trump is trying to go for the Holy Artifact.
You have to protect
Blue team is not there to defend. They're conquering the west side, but that's too much.
He's going to start the channel. 20 seconds. 15.
Try and distract. They have to clear for Trump to be able to touch it. Only the clan leader can channel the Holy Artifact for the imprint victory.
That was so close. Trump almost able to get the channel, but Clan Harden using that graveyard, and it's so close to that defensive area, was able to respond appropriately, and now we are rounding down to the final minute of Fortress Siege.
Let's gather up in the middle again.
450, I think that might be a new record, and it's continuing to climb. Disguised Toast is fighting for pride and pride alone. We will at least not fall down to our tower. You will win us in the kills, but not through the Holy Artifact.
Still keeping the honor intact here, keeping the morale high, but in the end, the constant aggression, control, and cycling of rotations here displayed by Trump and Clan Bellet has set them apart from the rest.
Experience has won the day here because Trump has battled twice. 5 seconds remain in the 30 versus 30, and it looks like Clan Bailiff will once again take victory over Clan Harden.
Hello? Thank you, Froden and Dreadnought. Let's hear it again for the red team and Trump. Trump, Bob, you come down here. Trump, as the winner of our 30v30 Fortress Siege, I hand you back this, which I gave you earlier. Congratulations again. So it looked like a central part of your strategy was to control the center. I know there was a lot of time when you were not allowing people to go to the Spring of Recovery. Was that all part of the strategy?
Absolutely. The center is the key to attack all aspects. And we attacked some on the right, we attacked some on the left. We kept Toast off guard. It was great.
Yeah, you could see the moment you guys switched up strategies to the other towers, and that's awesome. We haven't really seen that before. Is that something that you developed, or was that more on the fly once you realized that you weren't going to be able to continue pushing forward on the other side?
You know, as we keep playing these 30 versus 30s, I keep realizing, yeah, there's a lot of layers of strategy here. You can make a lot of different plays. I decided, since we were really far ahead, to try to go for the ultimate victory. We almost got that main tower.
Yeah, you had the channel going for a little while. It's just finally they were able to stop you, but you had so many kills. You guys got way far ahead. Now, do you have any consolation words for Disguised Toast right now and the rest of the members of the Blue Clan?
You know, I said it during the game, but I think Kriparian would have provided a bit more of a challenge here. Unfortunately, maybe he decided to run away from me by getting appendicitis. So, you know, I understand, Krip.
Well, we hope you feel better, Crip. And thank you so much. Congrats again, Trump. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out all day today, all of our streamers, everyone who came in and tried out the game. It has been an absolute blast to be here with you guys at the Lineage 2 Revolution booth. Be sure to check back in tomorrow for more awesome footage. Have a good night.
I almost died. You crushed it.